Now let's check in with MSNBC, where host Simone Sanders Townsend claims that Black Americans will be the next to be deported. She seems to think that Black citizens are somehow going to be part of the deportation program.
To me, that is why Kilmar Abrego Garcia's specific case, the case of the gentleman who's a makeup artist out of California who was also sent to that prison, that is why the 75% of the folks who have been sent, the men who have been sent there that don't have criminal records, that is why this is so important. Because if they could do it to them, if they could snatch students off the street without any pushback or recourse, they will do it to any of us. And to be very clear, it's going to be the people of color and vulnerable communities that are next in line.
I think that's right, and that's certainly part of why the African-American community is so strongly behind the supporting Kilmar.
Yeah, we're like, we are not for this.
Yeah, because as you just said, if they're going to whisk them away, what are they going to do with us?
There you go, Coleman. Are you living in fear of ICE knocking on your door and deporting you despite the fact that you are a citizen?
No, I'm not. And what he just said, that the Black community is behind. No, Black leftists are behind this, which is a very small percentage of Black Americans that live in this country, especially the upper class types who appear on MSNBC. So this fear-mongering about Black Americans being scared, guess what? When you show Black Americans the facts about this guy being associated with gangs, this guy, which everyone acknowledges he was here illegally, Black Americans know what illegal immigration has done to their jobs. Black Americans have seen their neighborhoods being torn apart, being split up, being segregated because of illegal immigration. So this idea that Black Americans are behind Kilmar is foolishness. It's ridiculous. So no, Black Americans aren't as stupid as they're projecting us to be, that we're hanging in fear that ICE is going to knock on our door when the vast majority of Black Americans have been here longer than any other demographic. So no, we're not going anywhere and we're not scared. This is all just nonsense.
Now, I've played a little of Jamal Bryant, preacher Jamal Bryant in Lefties Losing It. He's a repeat offender in that regard. He's attacked Black Republicans in the past in the most racist terms. And now this man of God is calling Republicans roaches, Adam. Tell me about this brand of Christianity and how much influence it has amongst the Black community.
Well, in certain areas, you know, I believe he's based in Atlanta. In certain areas, he has a lot of influence, unfortunately. But if you were to see the image from that video at the podium, what is it? It's a communist fist holding the cross, right? Which is blasphemous. This is not something that should be allowed or should be accepted, but he is part of what they call Black liberation theology, which is essentially a front for Black Marxism, right? So they uphold civil rights and all these cliche terms, but they also talk about capitalism and the bad parts of capitalism and all these different things. It centers Black identity in front of Christ. And I say this as a Christian, that whenever you try to serve two masters, you're not going towards Christ, you're going towards something else. So Jamal Bryant, he may be renowned and people love this man, but what they don't realize is that he's using the Black American he's basically using the image of Black Americans as a skin suit to further Marxist ideas or Marxist-like ideas. So no, I do not support what he has to say. And especially when you have churches getting highly involved in politics for their own personal gain, that is not what they're there for. The house of God is there to push people towards Christ, not towards the Democratic Party.
Well said. Now, before you go, tell me about your new book, The Children We Left Behind. It's a deeply personal work and highlights cultural issues in the West around family separation. Have we lost our willingness to sacrifice for our children, Adam?
I think many of us have. You know, in the Western world, we glorify individualism. And I'm a proponent of individualism, but as long as it's healthy and it's balanced, too much of a good thing can become a bad thing, obviously. But as parents, we're supposed to sacrifice. We're supposed to sacrifice for our children. The problem that I'm seeing is that our obsession with individualism intersects with our need to sacrifice for our children. And so parents get to act like children, be whimsical, do whatever they want to do, drag their kids along. And as they're dragging their kids, they expect their children to respond like adults. And that's not how things are supposed to work. So yes, the book is a cultural critique about the selfishness of parents, but it's also to talk about my story as a child who was left behind by my father and what I had to deal with: suicidal ideation, depression, being admitted into a mental hospital, homelessness, poverty. All of these different things all stemmed from family separation, not having him there, having my mother struggle to take care of 2 kids. So these are real circumstances that a lot of Americans, and actually throughout the Western world especially, are facing.
Absolutely. That sounds like a fascinating work, The Children We Left Behind. Adam B Coleman, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.